That's enough guitar playing for a day. Oh, hey guys! So, before we get to today's interview, I want to address something. Where's your evidence? Show us evidence. Source, please. Well, that would be a valid critique if LIO doesn't do the same thing I'm doing.
What do you want, freak?
Oh my god! That was quick.
I just want to talk, bro. You just want to talk.
What you? What?
Yeah, I don't even know where that came from at all.
What? All right, hold on. I'll just stay here then.
Just say I'll just stay here then. Sad face.
Just stay.
Now we're
Just gonna
lolicon
No.
defenders.
No, just reply who.
Who?
Senate bot. Oh my god. He's a lolly defender?
I didn't know that.
Who's the funny Wallace?
Can you just say, do you have proof? Because I didn't know.
Just say proof
Yeah.
question mark.
It's for me right now. There we go.
You can
The boomer needs like 5 decades of tape.
Oh my god.
Dude, how does he not have a job? He's just like instantly there.
Also, notice how he mentioned that I'm friends with Carmen, thus I defend lolly art. The same guilt by association thing that my interviewers say he does. I'm just saying that if you want to disprove what my interviewers have been saying, maybe don't do exactly what they're saying you do. And also, what this has to do with the whole evidence thing, I challenge LIO to who bring me one instance of me actually defending lolly art without bringing up Carmen, Nil, or anyone. Don't bring up anyone but me and find an instance where I defend lolly art. Until then, drop it like an anvil. But for now, I think I'm gonna do something interesting and provide evidence for this one. So, Spooky has gathered a bunch of screenshots from her testimony, and I'll put a link to a Google Drive with all of it down below. So, check that out if you want to ask me what the evidence is. Okay, now let's continue. Hey, Spooky. Welcome.
Hello. Thank you for having me on.
So, first question. Can you share your experience being part of LIO's group?
What little time I was there, it was a horrifying experience. It was, I don't know how to put it, it's just horrifying. I was not treated with kindness. I was treated as if like a criminal. That's the only way I can describe it.
And can you describe in what ways?
When I joined, I was to speak on my experience with a person I had a problem with, which was Box of Fox. They'd been causing me problems for like years. And they'd caused my friends problems for years because the only thing Box likes to do more than anything is just start drama and hurt my friends. So I've been combating that for quite some time. And what got them into a recent issue and a problem was the fact that they went after Jar, and I don't remember the reasons, but then they did a live stream. They tried to use me and my friend Creeps as a shield against, the criticism they were, getting, which, funny enough, they outed themselves of actually being the person that did a lot of wrong in the situation with us. Next thing I know, I spoke against this, but I had the help of someone called Call Me Neil, which I ran into. And Call Me Neil gathered a group of every person that was hurt by Box. And we all did like an interview on their YouTube. We did 2 interviews. And I think first was me and a few others, and then the second interview was with me, Maddie, Creeps, like practically almost everybody we could find that was willing to speak on the issue in the second interview. And basically what happened is over time we all stayed in that group chat where we had the interview and we were all venting about Fox and what Fox was doing to us throughout the year. Because that caused, we did the interview like somewhere like around January and February, and that group stayed together until all the way until September, where I interacted with LIO, and the group dispersed after what Call Me Neil did to all of us.
Yeah. You actually went into detail with that in our DMs leading up to this. Could you please expand on that a little bit for the audience?
Well, I met Call Me Neil a while ago, and, they were hurt by Box like I was, and we were, like, good friends and stuff, and Neil had seen everything that Box had done to me and to my friends, and when I thought about talking to LIO, Neil actually encouraged it and gave me a link to the Senate, like she knew everything about it. I had no idea that Neil and LIO were talking. I had no idea what the Senate was. I've never heard of this LIO convoy. I've never heard of the Senate. I didn't know it was a barbarian server. I just went into the server to clear up a rumor that I believe Fox was starting about me, because that's what Fox likes to do. And I thought it was going to be a one-on-one conversation, and no, I was immediately dragged into a fucking group call with Fox, someone I did not want to talk to, and felt completely uncomfortable talking to them. And I still tried to be cordial throughout the call, and somewhere in the middle, Neil joined, and even though Neil's known all that would happen and had all the information at their fingertips that me and my friends provided of Fox harassing us over the years, Neil did nothing. Neil just sat there and jeered with them. And, of course, my husband wakes up. He hears what's happening to me. He can hear it through my headphones because it was loud enough. And he was just calling them out. And that pissed LIO off. And I believe my husband asked Neil a particular question because LIO's group was literally telling my husband to come into the server and fight for my honor. You could hear it. And I'm like, I didn't want that. Like, I don't need someone to fight on my behalf. I can fight for myself. They were, like, changing my name to someone married to a loser. They were doing all this harassment shit. And my husband was, like, calling LIO a fat loser of a part of the art commentary. He was not having it. It's like, you're sandbagging my wife. And they were like, well, you think we're sandbagging your wife, you need to come in here and defend her honor. And I'm like, no, he doesn't need to do that. And it got worse because, what was it, Coyote, Lovely, LIO, and the group wanted to come into our private little group chat that Neil made for us. And Neil's like, oh, I'll only do that if Spooky says it's okay. And I'm like, I'm not going to agree to that. And even LIO stated that I wasn't going to agree to that shit. And because Ogichi asked Neil, "Hey, you know what? I'll come into the call. I'll join this group call if you will stand up and fight for Spooky." And that pissed Neil off, and Neil invited a couple of people, which was LIO, and I believe it was the guy Baji, the dude with the dolphin comic, into our group to harangue and harass everybody there. Neil mysteriously kicked Maddie and Rigby from the group because they wanted to focus on my husband, and my husband wasn't having it. He left the group call because he was not going to acknowledge their existence. He was not going to fight with them because he knew what they were going to do to him. He would join the group call and they would mute him, like they've done to so many others.
Yeah.
After that, I started talking to Neil in DMs, and Neil was practically fucking threatening me to have another conversation with LIO, and I was in a state of shock. Like, I shut the fuck down because I don't think LIO and the group realized it, but I actually have nerve damage in my brain, and I didn't know about it until later. I was diagnosed with narcolepsy. So I shut down. I was in a state of shock because I've never dealt with that much of an audience just hammering down on me. Like, I was just one person.
Slight correction, Spooky. You were diagnosed with nerve damage in your brain. The narcolepsy is a symptom.
True. I'm sorry. I got that wrong, but you understand.
Yeah, I
Also,
get it.
if you're asking about my specific opinions, I didn't want to lower myself to the state of screeching baboons. As far as I'm concerned, they were nothing but children, and I wasn't going to acknowledge them because they were just acting like children.
Based. When you first heard of Senate Spooky, what were your initial thoughts about them and what were your expectations?
I just thought it was a normal Discord group. I didn't even read the rules. I didn't know it was a barbarian server. I actually joined Leo's, I believe it was like his Thundercats Discord first, and asked if I could talk to him one-on-one. And I can see now where that's my mistake. And he invited me into the Senate, and he just asked my age. Like, oh, I just told him at the time it's I'm this old. And he's like, okay. Next thing I know, I'm dragged into Droof Call, and Neil literally just sat there and watched me be ripped apart. If I stood up for my friends, I was white knighting. Every time I actually valid points against Box, he would interject. He treated me like I was stupid, like I was a kid. I am technically only maybe a few years younger than Leo. And he hammered that point in hard.
Yeah. Is there any other instances of behavior or actions by LIO or other Senate members that you found concerning, unethical, problematic, that you haven't yet?
I didn't realize it at the time that Coyote was part of the group. I don't remember everything because I had to rewatch a lot of it because, weirdly enough, Neil told me to record the call. And I not only have the recording, I have what's going on in the Senate at that time. I still have it to this day. And if anybody wants to see it, I'd be willing to give it, of who was in that call. But yeah, Coyote Lovely said he wanted to kick my husband. And, encouraged Neil to let him in the group, which I thought that was, disgusting. And then because my husband spoke out and called LIO a slur and referred to him, and pretty much, said that, you're just part of the art commentary community. Your Discord gets deleted, which is true because Neil told us about it. His Discord gets deleted quite a lot, so that's why the name and the image always changes. Do you want to say something?
I believe my specific words were that they were nothing but a bunch of middle school drama vultures. That is what I said.
Well, anyway, I completely blanked out on what I was thinking or my sentence structure here.
You were saying something about the call?
I was saying something about, who was causing me issues and stuff.
Yeah.
I did hear a lot of people that I didn't recognize the people right from the beginning, but now looking back at it, I saw Coyote Lovely in there. They brought Fox and Fox in there. I believe even Jordan was there. I saw a lot of I now know who these people recognize. I didn't know who they were. I've never heard of these people.
So, how did LIO or his associates typically handle... Actually, you basically already answered that question.
Yeah, I already answered.
Yeah. Let's go on to LIO's leadership style. How do you think it impacted the overall dynamics and atmosphere of Senate during the small time you were in it?
Well, at first he was nice to me and listened to me, but he would interject. I mean, everyone muted themselves unless he gave them permission. But it's like LIO controls the floor. And it doesn't matter whether you're the person that's speaking against said person or you're the other person that's speaking against the other person. It's a spat between two people. And then when LIO has already dubbed someone like me, for example, the guilty party, when I never got to show my evidence to him, I didn't know where to put my evidence at. He didn't tell me where to put it at. And also, he never told me he was recording me. He at least told me that. Because I didn't know the Senate records every single call. And I was not informed of any of this. I just came into the server to clear a rumor up, and, LIO sat there, and once they figured that I was, a person that was, the guilty one without looking on my side of things, they just ripped me apart, called me names, changed my name, and LIO allowed it to all happen. Of course, LIO changed my name back, but he allowed them to do any and everything to me once they dib you the guilty person, and even though if you have some points made against the other party, they don't care. They don't give a shit.
Yeah, this is why Senate is labeled as LIO's little hug box.
It is a hug box. It's a hive mind. It's a cult. I think one of my friends a while back called them a cult, and it pissed them. They tried to hunt my friend down, and they couldn't because they're only on Twitter. They don't have a Discord. They don't have any other social media other than Twitter.
Yeah. Oh, hey, I just thought, you said you had the recording for the call, right?
Yes. Yes, I do.
Please provide that to me, and I'll leave it down in the description.
I can definitely do that. I'd have to look for it, but...
Okay. I already have a file full of the
physically.
screenshots you've given me on Google Drive. So, is there anything else you'd like to share about LIO or Senate that you think others should be aware of?
I think the only thing I could tell anyone is record yourself, record everything that's going on. Because if you don't, they're going to twist your words and they're going to say you did this and that. Don't go in there. For the love of God, don't go in there. I went in there, and even though I was polite, I was considered, I was well-mannered, and I had no bone to pick with Leo other than just clearing a rumor. They ripped me apart. They don't give a shit who you are. They don't care. Once they deem you the bad person, that's it. That's it. And they're not even above doing life donation. They're not above it. They will strike people's, they'll go through people's Twitters, they'll go strike down. This recently just happened. One of my friends tried to do a live stream, and they struck her channel down. Now it's gone. They don't care. They're horrible people. Leo is nothing more than a Pharisee. That would be my thoughts on it.
Okay. Last question. What do you hope will come from exposing these experiences you've had with LIO?
I believe if I speak out, like so many others, that people will eventually, this will be enough evidence to stack against him. Because, yeah, individually, we can't really do anything to him. When we come together, like little pieces to a puzzle, making a bigger picture, people can understand that Leo's not a good person. He's not a good person, and he'll never be a good person. You need to stay away from him. He's not someone to turn to predators or anything like that. You should go to the police. You should go to actually people who deal and handle with this, not to some Discord vigilante.
Yeah, that's true. That's great advice. And funny enough, Nil basically said the same thing in my interview with her, where she said, if you want to be a pedo hunter, become a cop. If you don't want to be a cop, leave it to the professionals.
That's probably the best advice I've ever heard her say. I listened to her call, and I can understand some of their thought process when it came to my call, but it doesn't change the fact that, they threw me to the wolves, along with my friends, to be hunted down.
Yeah. Actually, one last question before we close out, and this is just out of curiosity. It could be answer any way you wish.
Okay.
Do you have any thoughts on the recent stuff with Nil about her anti-hero attempt, if you know what I mean?
I never imagined a million Neil do something like that, and it hurts me to know that Neil would try to do something at all. I don't want anything bad to happen to Neil. I just have done, apologize for it and try to be a better person. I think that's the only thing I could ever ask of Neil. I liked hanging out with Neil. I loved memeing with Neil, joking with Neil, but, what they did to me, it hurt. I trusted this person. My friends trusted them. And to let Leo and his group of lackeys hunt us down, I feel that, that Neil did it to please Leo, and then when Leo got what they wanted from her, they tossed her aside. Me and my friends were more, genuine, kind-hearted people to Neil than Leo would ever be. And I wish Neil didn't throw me and my friends aside, because we would have never thrown them aside. Not for Leo. If I had known that Leo was anything like the way he was, I would have never talked to him in a million years. I'm disgusted with his action. I just hope Neil's okay.
Yeah, you and me both. Thanks for coming on, Spooky. Glad to have you.
No problem.
You too, Ogichi.
Oh, I'm sure he's happy to be here as much as I am.
Okay. I'll talk to you guys later.